New this morning, more than 30,000 cars have been stolen from the Denver metro area so far this year. That's a 20% increase from the same time period in 2021, according to the latest report from the Metropolitan Auto Theft Task Force. 9 News reporter John Glasgow has been following this trend of auto theft across Colorado. And John, police find a lot of stolen cars, not necessarily the people who stole them, though.
Yeah, that's right. 93% of the time they recover the vehicles here in the Denver metro. Some are dumped on the side of the road. Others are used in more violent crimes. So we wanted to know, how often do crime labs link a suspect to those stolen cars? What we found here in Aurora is that they are overwhelmed with evidence. When a stolen car turns up in the Denver metro,
they could be just the same with a few extra miles and a little bit less gas, or they could come back completely destroyed.
Sergeant Faith Goodrich with the Aurora Police Department says every vehicle found is processed. And unlike your favorite crime show, in real life, this process takes time.
You know, we do in law enforcement fight this CSI effect, this belief that we can solve any crime within 40 minutes based upon these non-existent databases.
Crime scene collection is time-consuming, labor-intensive, and requires expert training. Laverna Murr leads Aurora's police CSI unit. Her team dusts for fingerprints, uses DNA swabs, and inspects stolen vehicles for evidence inside and out.
And the CSI shows out there show that, you get one DNA profile and it's going to give you the name, date of birth, where they work, their favorite pizza. That is not true to life.
Sometimes the team finds just a fraction of a fingerprint. That could bring up multiple suspects in the system or none at all.
Because a lot of times these offenders, especially if they're juveniles, haven't been arrested, so their fingerprints aren't necessarily in the computer.
In either case, they save and store the DNA samples. Aurora saw a nearly 35% increase in stolen cars over the last year. And since Aurora police say that they're seeing so many repeat offenders, there's a good chance even a partial print could lead them to a suspect down the road.
Seen a lot of these suspects are armed and they are willing to shoot it out.
Aurora police say these investigations take time to build cases and to make arrests.
We understand, the police department understands that it is your highest priority, that it is affecting your life and you've been victimized, and we will get to it.
Yeah, so there is a bit of a backlog there. And not only that, the CSI members, they have to go to homicides, they go to search warrants, autopsies as well. So they are overwhelmed with those other cases as well as these stolen cars. Now, they do say that they have 7 members, but they'd like to increase that to 12. They do get the officers. There's a portion of them here that are trained with basic CSI knowledge, but for the most part, it would be better to get the experts out to investigate these stolen cars. And ultimately that would shorten the amount of time for you to get your car back, because they do need that time to process the car before you can actually get it back from the police department. But yeah, they work around the clock, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
I know it's so interesting. People think it's like those CSI shows where they can just find a fingerprint and someone's in the system and they find it the next day, and that's just not how it works in reality. So, John, did Aurora police say if there's anything people can do in case their car is stolen?
Well, the one thing you can do to protect your car is get one of those clubs. That locks the steering wheel. That makes it nearly impossible for a thief to steal your car. However, when people don't have that, the other thing I thought was really interesting is they said to keep your car clean. Oftentimes you have trash, you might have some empty cups from a fast food restaurant. All of that makes it more complicated for them because they have to DNA swab everything. They're not sure what was the thief's and what was yours that was left behind. So the cleaner you can keep your car might actually help their investigation.
Wow, that is interesting. Okay, well, good to know. John, thank you.